The gang thought he was just another man in the neighborhood. They didn't know they were targeting a battle-hardened Afghan veteran.
Move your ass, boys gotta get back to work.
Yeah, keep moving, chavala.
The movie begins with 14-year-old Lucas, who lives in a rough neighborhood of Washington, D.C., working for the brutal El Salvadoran gang, Mississippi 13.
I can ride my bike to the White House and make it in 20 minutes. But here, the gangs run the streets.
His job, delivering drugs to customers every day. Couriers like Lucas hand the cash to collectors, who pass it to lieutenants, and eventually, it all ends up with the boss. The gang is run by Rinkin, Lucas's cousin and deputy boss, who seized control at just 19 after wiping out all competition. Lucas witnesses the gang's ruthless side firsthand when a thug hacks another member to death with a machete. One of Lucas's regular customers is Daniel, a mechanic who lost his voice due to a damaged throat and communicates via his phone. Then there's a chubby neighborhood kid eager to prove he's no pushover, boasting that he can take down cops and already owns a gun.
No psych, Lucas. I'm gangster.
Lucas also collects protection money from local shop owners, but one shopkeeper, Carlo, hasn't paid in days because his store's been closed. Lucas gives him one final warning.
This better be the last time, okay?
Thank you, Lucas. You're a good kid.
Lucas has a younger brother, Miguel, who dreams of joining the gang too. Instead of going to school, Miguel shows up at the gang's drop-off point, ready to work as a courier.
Fuck school, dude. I'm gonna work for Rincon.
You're not working for Rincon.
Hey, listen, I'm signing up soon. Soon I'm gonna be a runner, like you.
Meanwhile, Daniel gets hassled by a local oddball rambling about how even cabbages feel pain. So what should vegetarians eat?
You know how them vegetarians don't eat meat because like how it's killing all the animals and shit, they feel all bad for the animals.
Daniel finally pays him just to leave. Anna, a neighborhood woman, starts flirting with the scarred, silent Daniel.
It's not that I don't like having you here. I do. It's...
Rinkin's sister is getting married, and he's so protective that instead of a church, he's holding the ceremony in his own backyard. When the groom arrives with his family, Rinkin personally questions them. Later, Daniel stops for a burrito and accidentally holds up the line. That's all it takes for a group of Mississippi 13 members, including the chubby wannabe thug, to start harassing him.
Yeah, keep moving, chavala.
Daniel tries to walk away, but they push it further, splashing beer all over him. Daniel, a veteran of the war in Afghanistan, suffers from severe PTSD. He's constantly popping pills just to function. When a few punks try to steal his meds, the soldier in him resurfaces. He beats them down without hesitation. Meanwhile, Lucas arrives at Rinkin's house, where preparations for his sister, Gabriella's wedding, are in full swing. Gabriella is glowing, but Lucas interrupts Rinkin's meeting with the groom's family. Surprisingly, Rinkin has a soft spot for Lucas, even buying him a suit for the wedding. Before Rinkin can answer, a beaten gangster is dragged into the room, about to have his teeth pulled and fingers cut off for screwing up. Lucas reports that the shopkeeper, Carlo, still hasn't paid. Rinkin scolds him for being too soft. Carlo should have been punished already. Now, to prove himself, Lucas must deliver 2 large packages of heroin to a gas station. This isn't the usual stuff, Rinkin warns. I'm counting on you. He orders Jester to keep an eye on Lucas. This is serious business. Lucas then hears from Donut that Miguel is in the middle of a gang initiation, the kind where a group of thugs beats you nearly to death. Lucas rushes over and finds his little brother taking punches. The gang counts to 13, then stops. Before they can tattoo Miguel's face, Lucas drags him away. Still desperate to keep him out of gang life, driving around, Daniel spots a dead friend lying in the street. Moments later, he sees Lucas and Miguel and offers them a ride, but Lucas refuses. Instead of delivering the heroin, Lucas heads home, starts packing, grabs a hidden gun, and plans to get Miguel out of the neighborhood for good. But Jester shows up, throwing his weight around. I'm Rinkin's right hand, you know it. Now get lost. Lucas doesn't have time for him, but Jester isn't leaving. Jester blocks their path and forces the brothers back toward Rinkin's place. In the middle of the argument, he pulls a gun and points it straight at Miguel. Lucas freezes. Everyone knows Miguel is his weakness. Nearby, Old Man Carlo drives by. Realizing the boys are in trouble, he makes a sharp U-turn and distracts Jester just long enough for Lucas and Miguel to break free. They tear through backyards, running for their lives. Jester is close behind, itching to punish Lucas. Without hesitation, he opens fire. The brothers sprint to Daniel's car and dive inside. Daniel floors it, the camera practically shaking apart as they race away. But up ahead, 2 armed riders on a motorcycle block their path. The bikers had already killed Miguel's dog, and now the chase was on. Lucas fired back until his gun clicked empty. At one point, Daniel grabbed a shooter's arm and slammed him against a wall. The veteran flashes back to a combat mission in Afghanistan. His squad ambushed, many brothers in arms killed, and Daniel taking down a group of mujahideen himself. Snapping back to reality, he rushes to pull Miguel from a burning car. Inside, the package of drugs is still intact. Daniel brings the boys to his place and bandages Miguel's wounded leg. He learns they had another brother who'd been in the gang, Rinkin's best friend, until he was killed in a shootout. That's why Rinkin had been looking out for Lucas. Soon after, Jester shows up to report to Rinkin. Lucas ran off with the goods. He says, "I told you to follow him, but you blew it." Rinkin ordered Lucas to be found and brought back alive. Lucas figured the drugs might be his ticket to survival, so he sprinted to the car only to find no drugs inside. Instead, there was cash, but it was already burned. A gangster arrived to see Rinkin, the one Lucas was supposed to deliver $250,000 to. That money was meant for the captain sitting in prison. Daniel wanted to help the brothers, but Lucas pushed him away and smashed the veteran's phone. Then Lucas remembered he'd dropped the second package back home. He sneaked into the building through the laundry room and ran into Chubby, who agreed to stand guard. "I'm watching you," Chubby told him. "Don't forget, I've got your back." Lucas slipped inside, found the second package, and followed Chubby toward what he thought was a safe exit. But Chubby's loyalty was rotten. He had already joined the gang and betrayed the brothers. "It's just business," Jester said, demanding the second package, but it was gone, burned in the fire. Meanwhile, Rinkin was walking his sister down the aisle. His men had beaten Anna's father so badly that she wanted nothing to do with Daniel anymore. "They're looking for you," she told him. "They say you stole the drugs and ran off with the kids." Rinkin had already brought the kids back. Daniel armed himself with a knife, determined to save them. Anna tried to stop him, but the veteran muttered something unintelligible and marched off like he was heading to another war. Gabriella got married, and the reception was in full swing. Jester was itching to cut the brothers to pieces. Meanwhile, Spider got drunk and started harassing one of Rinkin's crew. The boss saw it and went after Spider, beating him to death in a drunken rage. Outside, Daniel encountered guards stationed near the house. They easily beat the veteran down, slamming him to the ground. But Daniel wasn't finished. He pulled himself together, slashed at the bandits with his knife, and dropped one of them instantly. He pressed a gun to the second man's head and forced him toward the house. Bloodied and limping, Daniel burst into the room where the brothers were being held. Spider was already dead, killed because he hadn't been delivered to Grandma on time. And all of it traced back to Lucas. Outside, FBI agents were posted nearby. They spotted Daniel with the hostage and called for backup. The gangsters drew their weapons, and the agents stepped out of their car, aiming their guns right back. Then, out of nowhere, one of the boys lit fireworks. Explosions from pyrotechnics mixed with the roar of automatic gunfire, and the street erupted into chaos. Police arrived, unloading round after round into the house. The gangsters fired back. Just another normal wedding in the ghetto. Above, a helicopter hovered, its searchlight sweeping the chaos below. Then tragedy struck. Gabriella took a bullet to the stomach and died in her new husband's arms. Jester also caught a stray round. Flashbang grenades exploded, and Daniel was hit in the leg. Despite his wound, he found the bundle of cash, located the brothers, and helped them escape through a window outside. The yard was a war zone. The wedding guests had no idea they'd signed up for deadly party games. Daniel, armed with a pistol, hugged the wall and moved quickly. The three of them slipped through the chaos, out into the street, and disappeared into the back alleys. Only then did Rinkin learn his sister was dead. At the railroad tracks, Jester, still alive, caught up and aimed his gun at them. "Now you lie down, you bastard. Lie down," Jester snarled. Then Rinkin appeared, demanding answers. Why had Lucas betrayed him after being treated like a brother? Now it was blood feud time. But when the moment came, Rinkin couldn't pull the trigger. He let the kids go. "You betray me, steal my money, and you just let him walk?" Jester shouted, unable to understand why his cousin valued Lucas more than him. Why hadn't Rinkin made him the right-hand man? The jealousy boiled over. In a flash of rage, Jester blew Rinkin's brains out. Now it was just the brothers. And Daniel, left standing. Daniel distracted Jester with a decoy package, remembering the boy he had accidentally killed in combat and feeling the weight of that guilt. There was no money in the bag. It was all a trick. Jester aimed to kill the veteran, but before he could fire, a shot rang out. He dropped dead, taken out by Donut, the shadowy gray eminence of the Mississippi 13 gang. In the end, Daniel had hidden the real money inside a trowel, which he quietly handed to Miguel. It was enough for the brothers to start fresh. Maybe even open that burrito shop they'd always dreamed of. And that's how one Afghan war vet and two streetwise brothers turned a gang war into their escape plan. If you enjoyed the chaos, hit that like button harder than Daniel hit those gangsters. We're chasing our first 100 subs, so subscribe now.